Hey guys, it's Will with Dojo Kyle. Welcome to another night of our interview series. Tonight I'm excited to have a father and son on here, Bryan, who has done some training with us, and as well as his son Josh, who's he's a orange belt with us, orange and white belt. So that means he's been training. Oh, there he is. Hey, Bryan. Well, we'll have to ask Bryan to find out more, but it's been a long time. So, there's the request. All right, everyone, give me just 1 second. I'm gonna pipe these guys in.
Let's flip it.
Hello, hello.
Hey, how's it going? Sorry.
Bryan and Josh, good to see you guys. Thanks so much for jumping on here tonight. And
No problem.
Thanks for the invite, sir.
Josh, you got the quarantine hair. You got the long hair. You need to get that cut like your dad.
We got a 4 o'clock on Friday haircut, so yeah, it's unlike me, I just get it done, easy day. So
Cool. Well, so if you guys don't mind, just to start off, I was going to, normally I've been asking people how long or what got you inspired to start training. But I feel like for Josh, and how old were you, Josh? Like 7?
Like 5 or 6?
yeah, he was young, man. I think he was about five or six.
Wow. So it would be more of a question for you, Bryan, just kind of out of curiosity, like how did you decide to get Josh involved with martial arts?
So I kind of wanted to give him an opportunity, just due to the fact that, when I was a kid, I kind of got bullied, and talking to my parents, that they thought that it was unnecessary and it was like, that's just going to promote violence, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. But I never really believed that knowing how to defend yourself was promoting violence. As a matter of fact, I thought as an opportunity to diffuse the situation, because you kind of know what you're capable of doing at that point. So using that as, mental judo, I guess, if you will, right? Where like, hey, we understand that, step one is, hey, just try to, walk away if you can. But if it comes down to like, okay, we business time, right? You kind of have an understanding that you know what you're doing, and you can just get it done really quick, effectively, without too much collateral damage, if you will. So I wanted to give him that chance that, like, hey, I hope to God that it never comes down to it, but if you need to, it's there, and I think it builds a lot of confidence, discipline, and just overall, just a well-rounded, person, where like, hey, you get to hang out with a group of great individuals, learn, hone those skills, and at the same time, you do a little bit of exercise, physical training.
Sure.
And, I think that definitely builds good character.
Man, yeah, and I 100% agree with what you're saying about the defense, where it's one of those things where it's better to have it and not need it than need it and not have it, right?
Much agreed. Yes, sir.
And so, Josh, can you tell us maybe a little bit about, what have you liked about training, or what have you enjoyed through all your years of practice? Oh, and sorry to interrupt, but can you tell everyone, so you started at 5 or 6, and how old are you now?
I am 14.
14.
Almost 15.
All right. So a long training career. So go ahead. What have you been enjoying about your practice? What have you enjoyed about training overall?
Probably just all the new moves that you can learn, and like being able to add it all together is very satisfying. Like you take your basic moves that you learn at the beginning, you're like, oh, how is this going to help me? And then when you advance further, you learn more advanced moves that require these more basic moves, and you're like, oh, now I can put it all together, and it's very satisfying.
That's a good answer, and that's 100% true. I wish when I was a kid I would have known that. Hey, you could be advanced at something when you're 14 or 15. You know, you don't have to be a grown adult. You can be at a high level at a young age, especially if you start at such an early age like you did. And one of the things that Coach Ryan and I have always been so impressed with you on is how you've kind of grown from that young student to now starting to work your way into the instructor role. And how have you been liking getting started as like an assistant instructor, or what have you been learning as an assistant instructor?
That's a little bit of a harder question. Probably passing on what I know and like getting better at helping other people learn. I really wasn't good at talking to a lot of people before I started like helping instruct, and I've noticed that after about like a month or so, I started getting a lot better about just talking with people. And I really think that this helped me be able to learn how to communicate with others more.
Okay, that's a good answer. And sorry if I hear my dog over there howling, but
No, you're fine.
so and I would agree with, you know, one of the things that's really impressed me about you getting started as a coach has been how you can take charge and start the class, and how those kids look at you like that's, you know, you're the authority in the class. So it's been really awesome to see. And I guess when I say authority, I mean it in a good way. Like, they give you your respect, but it's but like they look up to you, right? So yeah, we've really enjoyed having you in there as a coach, and you've been rocking it. And so Bryan, I know it's been a long time since Josh has been a beginner, but do you have what would you say to like, I guess, you know, a parent watching this who's thinking, well, maybe it would be a good idea to get my kids started, or they've thought about it but they haven't pulled the trigger. I mean, what would you tell them, just to, I guess, say, hey, it's going to be worth the time and worth the commitment?
Yeah, absolutely. To kind of keep it short and simple, it's I mean, there's really nothing to think about. You know, it's yeah, do it. You know, 100%. It's gonna require work. You know, and I know you kind of saw it with me before I got injured, but you know, it's just repetition, right? Repetition till you get it. You know, we have a saying where in my line of duty where it's like routine things happen routinely, right? Where it just becomes second nature of just doing things. So, I mean, I know with BJJ, the menu of moves that are available, you know, it may seem a little bit overwhelming, but I'm like, hey, stick with one or two and just master those two, you know, and then once you are familiar with those, then start playing. You know, what I love about Dojo Kyle is that, you know, the culture there, we're like, I don't think I ever saw anybody with a huge ego based on the belt, you know. I mean, rolling with black belts or brown belts, and myself as a white belt, you know. I mean, I know, you know, we kind of look at it ourselves as like, oh, here comes fresh bait, right, with the white belt. But there was no ego, you know, and what I appreciated was the fact that, you know, they would ask me, like, hey, what do you want to work on, right? Let's work on that. Let's roll, just keep it fluid and learn, you know. And I would purposely, and I did this with judo, as you know, I'm a green belt, you know, but I had to quit because of my surgery. I'll be back eventually.
Yeah.
But it was, I would purposely put myself in bad situations with those senior belts to learn how to defend those things, right? So almost basically kind of sacrificing myself into a submission or a throw or a choke, just so I'm like, okay, I'm in a bad spot. how did I get myself in here? How do I get myself out of it, right? But kind of going back to your original question, it pays off, when you start seeing that confidence in your child, when you start seeing them walk a little bit taller, with that head, looking up instead of down, just knowing that, I mean, when you think about it, you go to a work site, and if a master carpenter gives the apprentice, the saw or the hammer, like, hey, here you go, man. Like, this is part of you becoming successful in life. I think the opportunity to learn how to defend yourself and knowing the human body's capable, that's definitely a gift that as a parent, you can definitely give that to your child, and it won't be a bad investment.
Right. Thank you. That's a great way of saying it. And one of the things you said in there that I thought about when you were talking about the ego thing, I remember Coach Ryan's telling, and Coach Ryan started the school, and I feel like has really just set the tone for us all there. But I remember him talking a lot about, like, hey, maybe I'm the black belt in here, but outside of here, you guys are black belts in your own fields and professions, and just setting the tone that, hey, we're all kind of on that path, still growing and learning, right? So in the school, I feel like that really carries over to where it's like, okay, I mean, maybe the black belt knows more jiu-jitsu than someone, but we can't be a computer programmer, or we can't, or the example you use, man, my carpentry skills would be probably lower than white belt. You know what I mean? So yeah,
right.
Treating those people with respect that's at the schools is a big part of it. And so Josh, do you have anything you would like to add, like as far as, I don't know, your time training or your time competing, or anything that you'd like to tell everyone before we get off of here? Anything about the fun or the friendships or anything like that that you've made over the years?
Probably it's gonna be rough in the beginning, but once you get into the rhythm, it's one of the best things in the world.
That's nice.
Yeah.
That's perfect. And Bryan, would you have anything that you would add for, through your time training, for anyone new just getting started? I guess I know you've already touched some on that, but would you add anything to it?
Yeah, no, absolutely. I think one of the most important things when you join a school, it's truly, really feeling welcomed in there. And I mean, you guys have been family pretty much since like day one. When we walked in there just to kind of check it out, Ryan was very welcoming, and I remember you came in and like shook my hand, and I talked to you on the phone for a little bit. So it was very like no pressure, no sales tactics. It's just like, hey, we want you to come in and train, right? So it just felt right. And when you finally get that, like, hey, this is my home away from home, the gym, if you will. Yeah, I think you guys definitely rocked it, man. Like, you are there. And for anybody out there listening, highly recommend Dojo Kyle, with no hesitation whatsoever. So,
man, thank you so much. Well, yeah, we appreciate that, and we appreciate you guys being a part of the school for all these years. And yeah, and we've enjoyed seeing Josh kind of grow up in there. I was going through some Facebook photos, and I saw a photo of Josh and James at a competition where they must have been like hip heights or something. Like they were like,
oh yeah, they were tiny.
Yeah, so it's cool to see these guys getting big and developing into some not only talented martial artists, but good people as well. So yeah, thank you guys so much for taking the time to be on here with me tonight. And can't wait to see y'all in person soon. We're getting back to some in-person classes, Josh, and we'd love to have you in there coaching or training, all right?
Just let us know. We'll be there, sir.
All right, great. Well, you guys have good nights, and catch up with you soon.
Thanks, Will. Appreciate you, man. Good talking to you.
Bye.
Bye.